Hey guys, this is Kevin, and for today's Expat Philippines video, I wanted to answer a couple of questions and kind of put it together in one video. I've had a couple of people ask me, Kevin, why in the world did you move to the U.S.? You seem to really enjoy your life in the Philippines, you know the language, you were familiar with the culture, you were happy there. Why did you move back to the U.S.? And I also had someone ask me yesterday, which do you like better, the U.S. or the Philippines? So I think I'll combine those into kind of one answer, or one video at least. Why did we move back here to the U.S.? That answer is kind of twofold. First and foremost, it was about finances. In that, when I was in the Philippines, I was a missionary. I lived off of donations and we were doing fairly well. I mean, we were paying our bills. We were able to support our local church. We were able to even enjoy ourselves, go out to eat and things like that. But in terms of really getting ahead, really saving for retirement and really getting ahead, we weren't doing that. And one thing that I noticed too is after the recession, it seemed like it just made it more and more difficult to raise money. Or maybe it's just that I'm not very good at raising money. I don't know. But anyway, to sum all that up, we just felt like it was in our financial best interest to move back here to the States. And the second part of that is it was not just purely a financial thing. My wife and I felt like it was better for us if she became a U.S. citizen because that simply gave us a lot of different options that we would not have if she remained a Filipino citizen and didn't move here and acquire her U.S. citizenship. And what I mean by that is, let's just say we were able to make the necessary financial adjustments, or I was somehow able to make a little bit more money, and we just stayed in the Philippines. Well, that would mean that our children would automatically be U.S. citizens because of me. But what if we do that and then our children grow up and decide to move here to the States? The problem there is, I mean, they could petition my wife or something, or I could petition her. But you see, the problem is, what if our kids wanted to move to the U.S.? Then that would be an issue in terms of my wife going to see them if she was not a U.S. citizen. Tourist visas can be really difficult to get if you pardon. Tourist visas can be really difficult for Filipino citizens, and I'm not saying they're impossible, but it can be an issue. So we thought, to summarize all that, we thought, why not go ahead and move here and acquire my wife's U.S. citizenship, and then really any option is open to us. If ever we wanted to move back to the U.S. or to the Philippines, we could, because my wife could get a dual citizenship. I could do the residency thing if we wanted to do that someday. I mean, that's still an option for us, but we're trying not to think about that right now. We're trying to give life in the U.S. a chance first. And that leads into the next part. What about which country do I like more? That's really difficult to say because wherever you live, there are pros and cons, and that's really the bottom line. There are things that I really enjoyed more about the Philippines, but there are also perks to being here in the United States. And one reason it's a bit difficult to answer that is our lives here in the U.S. really have not got off to a good start in some ways. We're still kind of searching for what it is we're supposed to be doing here. We already know some of what we're supposed to do here, and we've been working on that. But I think we'll have a much better sense of where we're supposed to be long term once I have more of a ministry and career going here in the States, and once we really get our lives and our families started here. So that hopefully answers the questions that I have been asked there. In one thing I'll remind everyone, just to wrap this up, it's something I said earlier, is that everywhere you live has pros and cons. and that is true. That's always going to be true. If you are miserable and bitter in the United States, don't think that just moving to a different country is going to solve everything. It isn't. You'll bring your baggage with you. If you are generally happy and generally positive and you think that the Philippines would be a great place to live and you want to try it, fantastic, that's great. But everywhere you live has pros and cons to it. And I will try to talk about that maybe a little more. At some point, I'm going to talk about the things that I've really enjoyed since moving back here to the States. But maybe I'll save that for another video. But anyway, I hope that helps to answer some of your questions. And you can feel free to leave a comment or question in the section below this video. Don't forget, by the way, if you're able, please go ahead and subscribe and like my videos if you haven't, because that just lets me know that people are interested and want to see more.